This is about my 6th time trying to start this video. I am very bad at intros, apparently. Hello world! So today I am making my first video, and I figured to start myself off, I would do the Booktube Newbie tab, which is just a few questions I'm going to answer, just to tell you a little bit about myself and what you can expect from me. So, first question. Why did you start this channel? There's a few things that went into this. The main one being I wanted a creative outlet that was just for myself. For a really long time, all of my passion and energy and creativity was going into my job. That's not something I can do anymore. It felt really important to find something that was just for me, that I could pour my energy into instead of, putting all this energy into a job for this random person who doesn't know me and doesn't care about me. Also, I don't really have anywhere else to rant about books, and I have a lot of opinions. I've actually been looking for a creative outlet for a few months. I've considered a few different things like Twitch streaming games, starting a blog, but nothing ever really seemed right. And then randomly, I'm not sure where, I can't remember where, but I heard the term Booktube, and when I looked it up and found out that there was this whole corner of YouTube that was all about books, which I love and have always loved, it just made sense. So here I am, sharing my opinions, and I hope that you find them interesting. Question 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to Booktube? I'd like to think I have a unique perspective in the world. I don't really know anybody who's had all of the experiences that I've had, and I think they're kind of unique and give me a unique way of looking at things. But ultimately, I'm not really trying to bring anything new to Booktube. This is something I'm doing for myself because I think it will be fulfilling, and I do have some ideas for things that I haven't seen before on Booktube, and hopefully I'll have more ideas in the future. But yeah, ultimately this is for myself. I'm not trying to, bring anything new or set trends. Question 3. What are you most excited for about this new channel? Having a creative outlet, having something to pour myself into and something to push myself with and to grow, and also a place to rant about the books I love because, again, I don't really have a place to do that. I'm really excited about learning and growing and just getting to explore my own thoughts a little more, as well as, putting myself out there and trying to do something bigger than what I've done in the past. Well, not bigger. The things I've done in the past are pretty big. But bigger than I've been doing in the last couple of years. Question 4. Why do you love reading? I guess it's fun. I really like getting inside the head of someone else and learning about somebody else's perspective. When I was growing up, I was pretty isolated from the rest of the world. I was very sheltered, and the people I was exposed to were very closed-minded, small-town people who didn't really like me because I was different. And when you're reading a book, oftentimes the ones who are different are the ones who are embraced. And I think I found that very comforting, especially as a teenager when it was becoming more and more obvious that I didn't fit in the town I was growing up in. And, I've learned a lot about the world just through reading books and just getting different people's perspective. Even in a lot of fiction books, you can learn from people's perspective and how they work through things. And, do I agree with this person? Do I disagree with what they did? Do I understand how they're feeling? These kind of things. Number 5, what books or series got you into reading? So that's kind of a loaded question. I've been reading since I was very, very young. The most significant book in my early childhood was called The Pokey Little Puppy. It was one that I made my dad read to me over and over and over, and my parents have told me about this many times. Apparently it was to the point that I had actually had the book memorized and could, recite the words while my dad was reading it. But impactful books from that age that really got me into reading, there's been so many books. It's hard to narrow it down. But if I did have to, I would say Charlotte's Web when I was about 5 or 6. I think that was the first real book that I remember reading, and also Black Beauty. My dad got me a copy of Black Beauty when I was pretty young and used to read it to me at night before bed, and just have a lot of fond memories associated with that book and with my dad. And so, yeah, if I had to say, what book got me into reading, it would be Charlotte's Web and Black Beauty. Question 6. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? So I think the questions I would ask my favorite booktubers is the same as the questions I would ask just about anybody that I looked up to. And that would be, how did you get so comfortable with yourself? Like, how did you get to a place where you could just ignore the criticism you get online, where you could feel good about yourself even when you're taking a risk and putting yourself out there? How did you get so comfortable on camera? Just in general. Question 7. What challenges in starting a booktube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? Myself. I have pretty bad ADHD, and that can make it hard to really commit to things and follow through. And it's really easy to get excited about something and throw yourself all the way into it, only to burn out and get bored a week later. And I feel like this is something really important for me to do, and I really want to succeed. And overcoming my tendency to just abandon projects is going to be very difficult. So that's the big thing I'm working on, is just making sure I stay committed and find the things I love about this and stick with it. Question 8, when did you start reading? I think I answered this one a little bit already, but I started reading when I was about 5. There was books in my early childhood that I loved a lot that I memorized, and through memorizing it, started learning how to recognize words. And then started picking up books like, again, Charlotte's Web or Black Beauty when I was pretty young, and just the habit stayed with me. Question 9, where do you read? When I'm at home, mostly on the couch in the living room. When I'm not at home, usually in my car at work on lunch. I get a lot of reading time on my lunch break. But yeah, usually in the living room at home. Question 10, what kind of books do you like to read? So I like to read a variety of things, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would be fantasy. I just love getting to experience things that would never happen in real life, and getting to see all the amazing things that people come up with. Various magic systems and other worlds. Like, I've always been kind of a free spirit and adventurous, and never really gotten to act on those things in life. So I'm living vicariously through these other characters. Right, last question, 11. What does your book collection look like? Eclectic. It's a pretty good mix of things. There's not really any rhyme or reason to it. Also, it looks pretty small because most of it is in a storage shed back in Michigan. I only brought a few books with me when I moved out here because, I won't get into why. So my collection out here is fairly small, built up over the last couple of years. Someday I will go back to Michigan and get all my other books out of that shed and bring them out here so I can actually have them with me in Colorado. And hopefully it will be growing a little bit soon. One of the ideas I had for Booktube was to reread important books from my childhood. And I wrote down a list of all the ones that were important to me that I specifically remembered and wanted to read again. And it was a pretty long list. And I would like to get actual copies of those books, whichever ones I don't already own. And so hopefully my book collection will be growing a little bit soon. So that's it. I know this was a short video. Just, this is my introduction to the world. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll come back to see my subsequent videos. The next video that should be up is a review of Frankenstein. Because, someone told me that if I'm going to use Frankenstein imagery, I should probably, review the book. So again, thanks for watching. I hope you come back. Bye!